It's time to do some Blitz in Everfest. Let's get to it. Hi friends, welcome back to Nearly Same Games. I'm Neil, and this is the Armory Report. This week's Armory event, Blitz, with the new Everfest meta. I decided to take a Kassai deck into this event. I found this one online from I Am the Fire TCG. I'll link the deck list in the description below, and let's take a look at how the deck is put together. All right, let's take a look at this Kassai deck. First off, we start off with the hero herself, Kassai, and her big thing is that her second attack each turn costs one less, and this allows us to swing our second saber for free. And also, if you have swung with two of your attacks this turn, you get a copper token for each saber that hit. It's very important to keep this in mind and look for this at the end of your turn every turn. And her weapons are the Centauri sabers. These are both the same, and they have once per turn, pay 1 to attack, and if it's defended by an attack action card, it gains +1 until the end of turn, which is important to remember, especially if we're going to be swinging these multiple times a turn. I have a playset of the Null Rune in here because I can. I didn't play against really the big wizards. Didn't play against Kano, so it wasn't that bad. Courage of Bladehold. This has Temper 2, and you can destroy this, and your sword attacks cost 1 less for the turn. This is important when we want a combo, so we can swing all of our swords for free. This is pretty much a necessity, I think. Brave Forge Bracers. 2 with Battle Worn, which means you can block with it twice. Very important. I didn't use the action very much, although it can come into play, where if you have attacked with one sword and it hit, you can pay 1, so your next sword will have +1. The effect is okay, but the important thing is having that Battle Worn 2 gives you a lot of block. Skull Cap. You need to have a Skull Cap. This can block for 3 total, and you're going to need it. You're going to need all the extra block you can get. Valiant Dynamo. This is your husk. This thing is amazing in this deck. Every turn we're going to be swinging, or almost every turn we're going to be swinging bolt sabers. That means that this we get to remove the -1 counter from this equipment every turn, and we can block every turn with this for 1. This will give you 4 or 5 damage block across the across each match. The matches don't last very long, but this is very important and is really good. There are times where I forgot to block with this. There are times I forgot to remove the counter, but pay very, very close attention to this. You're really going to want it. All right, with that said, let's get into the deck. We're going to start off with Spoils of War. We start off our turn with this. This gives our next weapon attack Go Again, which is very important. There's going to be a lot of Go Again. We're going to start with all the Go Again package to give our first saber Go Again, which is very important because we want to get to that second saber swing and do all those great things for us. Whenever a weapon you control hits, you create a 2 copper tokens, which is huge in this deck. I had one game that I was able to get 6 copper off of 2 attacks with the saber. It is very good. Definitely running 2 of those. Hit and Run, very versatile for us. Gives our next weapon attack Go Again, and if you've already attacked with a weapon this turn, it gives it a buff. And we are going to be running all 6 of these. These are very good. They cost 0. So you can start your turn with it to just give your first saber Go Again. If you use it after your first saber, if you've already got something that gives your first saber Go Again, this is excellent because it gives your next saber a buff and still gives it go again. So if you have a follow-up, you can still use that too. We don't have many follow-ups, but we'll get there. Blade Runner, new addition from Everfest. Excellent. Gives you pay 1 as an attack reaction. You give your weapon go again, and then your next weapon attack gets a buff. So we're going to be running all 6 of those. Glint the Quicksilver. This is a 0 cost attack reaction that just gives your weapon attack go again. If the player has defended from hand, then you also get to draw a card, which is very good. We're running both of those. Slice and Dice. This is such a good card, especially in the red. This is essentially saying add 4 damage to your attacks this turn. It gives your first weapon attack +1. It gives your second weapon attack +3. Very, very good. Only costs 0. Has go again. This is an excellent card. The blues only give +1 to your second attack, but also still very good. Out for Blood. This is an excellent defense reaction. It does cost 1, so you need to pay attention to that. But gives our weapon attack +3, and gives our, if they've defended from hand, it gives our next attack +1. A very good defense reaction, or attack reaction for us. Stroke of Foresight. Gives our next attack +3, again costs 1. And if they defended from hand, this chain link, then you get to draw a card and put a card either on top or bottom. So this can be nice if your last card in hand doesn't necessarily work with what you're going to be attacking with next. You can potentially filter it out and get something else that does work. Outland Skirmish. This was okay. It gives a buff to your next weapon attack, costs 0, and if the next time your weapon attack hits, you create a copper token. So this can give us some extra copper. This wasn't amazing, but it did the job. I would usually use this on the second attack to buff that one up. In the Swing. This only works on your second attack, second or later attacks. And this is great. It's a 0 cost and gives your attack +3. We are attacking a lot with both sabers, so this is an excellent card for us. Speaking of attacking a lot with with both sabers, Second Swing, a 1 cost, give your next attack +4, only if you've attacked with a weapon this turn. We are, like I said, almost always attacking with both sabers, so this is very effective and a very good card for us. And we're also running 1 route. Route costs 2, which is a little bit high for this deck, but gives our attack +3 and then bounces a card that they're defending with, which is really, really excellent and can push a lot of power through, especially if they don't have defense reactions. And then we're running 1 Nourishing Emptiness. This is excellent. We have no other attacks, so this will always have Dominate. And if it hits, we get +1 Intellect till the end of turn, and it has 6 power. Very good. Running 2 of the blue Steel Blade Shunts. This is an excellent defense reaction and can sneak in that extra 1 point of damage. Very good for us. Now we have our copper payoffs. The first is Cash In. We can destroy 4 coppers to pay for this, and then we draw 2 cards, which is pretty good for us. And then this card, Blood on Her Hands. This card is bonkers. I played this with all 6 coppers, and I played this with only 3 coppers, and it's always still good. This has 3 modes, and we can choose each of them up to twice. So generally we want to put each mode on each saber that we have, and you have to destroy 1 copper for each mode that you get, but it can give our sabers +1 when attacking this turn. It can give our weapons go again while attacking, so every time they attack they get go again, and it can allow our sabers to attack twice this turn. So really amazing. We're talking 12 power swinging the sabers, which get +1 if they are defended by action cards, and can really go bonkers for us. So that's the deck. Let's take a look and see how we did with it. All right, let's take a look and see how my matchups went. My round 1 was against an Icelander. Now, I don't know really what to expect with this deck, and I don't think that this deck was necessarily optimized very well. We started with, I blocked a 6 power attack with some armor and 1 card. And I was able to return with a Spoils of War attack plus a second swing, both hit, giving me 6 copper. He returned with an attack that he first played the card that made me discard a card or pay 3. I believe I discarded. And then he did a 6 power attack where I had to pay 2 or discard. And I just let that come through. I had already gotten some good damage on him, and my next turn was absolutely fire. I dropped a Blood on Our Hands, and at this point, it was 4-13. I dropped Blood on Our Hands, and just went to town. And my final hit, I also dropped 2 hit and runs, a red and a blue. So I believe my total damage for that turn was 16, mixed across 4 attacks. He drew a bunch of pummels to block with. It was not very good for him. Very quick match. I think if he had gotten out of Channel Lake Frigid, it would have been a different game, and it would have been much harder for me to keep momentum and play against that. But as it was, very quick kill. For my round 2, I was up against a Benji OTK deck. Now, this deck is very scary. And my first attack was not so big. This was one of my misses on Go Again, so I was able to swing 1 saber and pass it back to him. His next attack was gross. And it wasn't even as gross as it could have been. He dropped 1 attack with 1 2-power attack, which I took, and then it was break all of his equipment and get Spring Tidings, swing a Spring Tidings. I armor blocked for 4. He razored it up to 5. And so he got to draw 2 and sent another attack and another Spring Tidings, which I couldn't block. And I take it and just hope for the best. And he swings a bunch of things at me, taking me down to 3. I was lucky that he did not get particularly good hands to fire back with. And I was able to have a pretty decent attack. Took some good cards away from his hands. Got a few copper tokens, and that made his return attack very weak. And I was able to manage that. And the next turn, I had a Blood on Our Hands. I only had 3 copper tokens, so I took the Go Again, and with one of the sabers, I said this one can attack twice. I did pop my my armor, so the attacks were free, and I was able to swing sabers 3 times. But I was also able to follow it with a Nourishing Emptiness, dominate 1 more intellect, and so that gave me an advantage. He went through most of his cards blocking that, and his return wasn't anything that I couldn't handle, and I think he just arsenaled and passed. And my return was Spoils of War with an Out for Blood, Uh, he was at 3, I was at 2, but that Outflow Blood went over the top and killed him. So, able to beat Benji OTK. I think that was lucky on my part to beat that deck. My round 3 was against Adori, which was interesting. This is an interesting matchup because with Dorinthia, you really want to make sure that Dawnblade does not get a counter. You can't let that second attack hit. And Dory's going to throw over some really big attacks. So this is 2 decks that don't want to block. They really want to just swing out. And I was able to use my armor effectively to prevent Dory from getting a counter on Dawnblade. But I didn't have good follow-ups. I didn't have particularly great turns to swing. They were kind of just not very powerful attacks that I was swinging over. So sometimes it would be a sword for 2 and a sword for maybe 5, which isn't the big attacks that I was really looking for. I did one turn, I did send over a Nourishing Emptiness, which gave me a 5-card hand, and his next turn he returned a Nourishing Emptiness, which I no longer had the armor to block. So yeah, it was not necessarily the best, and he still drew a lot of cards from my hand. In the end, I swung a saber, and he blocked it with a Steel Blade Shunt, and that was the end of me. My round 4 was against another Kassai, and this deck was 3-0 to my 2-1 record. This was a lot of blocks with armor. Neither of us throughout the game saw blood on our hands or a cash in, so this was an interesting back and forth. I got him down to 4. I was still at 9, and he was swinging in his second saber attack. I blocked enough to. I was going to take 3 damage from his attack, and he happened to have exactly 2 in the swings in hand, so I was able to pump it up to 9 going over the top. So was able to kill me for Xaxes. Don't know what I could have done with that. I was really looking to keep enough cards in hand to return a big pressure attack and potentially knock down that 4 down to 1 or potentially kill him. But that's he just had the right cards, and that's how that went. So all in all, I went 2-2. I think I counted that I missed 3 triggers to remove the counter from my Valiant Dynamos. I think I only missed Go Again once or twice, so that wasn't so bad. I didn't miss a whole lot of Saber Pumps because I wasn't against a lot of classes that had attack actions. So I might have missed 1 or 2 with Benji. But Dory and Kassai don't run many attacks at all. So I think the deck was very interesting. It's very explosive. If you miss that, Go Again just makes you sad. And if you get into a match where you have to block, you're in trouble because you really don't want to block. You have your armor, and once your armor's gone, that's it. And you're hoping to push through enough damage. If you don't get those hands that really push through damage, then you're not going to be able to keep up the pressure, and that's going to be a problem for you. I think the deck is a lot of fun. I think my build of the deck, the build that I was using, was pretty consistent, and I really like the power that it gave you. It's not going to win all the matches, but the matches it does win, it wins very, very quickly. So I had a lot of fun with the deck. I would definitely recommend playing the deck if you have the opportunity to. It is going to require all of those um, armor pieces because you just need to have the block. That's what you're really relying on. So if you have those pieces laying around, it's going to be a fun deck to give it a shot. If you don't have those pieces, I don't think the budget build is going to be quite what you want it to be because you really rely on. That's the only thing that you really want to block with is your armor. Pulling cards from your hand is going to really reduce your power, and it's going to make it very hard to come back from. So that's it for this week. Next week's Armory event is a sealed WTR event, and we'll see how that goes. After that, as we move into March, we'll go back to Classic Constructed, and at that point, I would like to try out a Kano Classic Constructed. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm expecting that to be very much a learning experience. And in the future, I would like to still build that Data Dial deck and give that a shot, but I need some more refinement with that and to see exactly how that's going to go. So until next time, I'm Neil, and this has been the Armory Report.